Hi YouTube, I'm Tim and welcome to Star Wars Toy Collecting episode number 7, plus a DVD and Blu-ray update. There'll be a physical media haul of all of my 2022 DVD and Blu-ray buys so far. But first, Star Wars Toy Collecting episode 7. And one of the Star Wars toys I wanted to show off this time is a remake of a classic Kenner Star Wars vehicle. It was never shown in the movies, but it got shown in a comic book, and then it got shown in the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian, and this is that version. The Imperial Troop Transport, and I filled it with some vintage Kenner Star Wars Stormtroopers, as well as some recreations of the originals. And I do have, if you can see in there, I got the drivers in there. I had one modern Hasbro Stormtrooper in here as well, but I took him out. So I had this lid opens up. And as you can see, inside of it, there's Stormtroopers hidden inside of it. I filled it up with some more Stormtroopers. And this also comes off, but I don't want to take that off again. It's just easier to open up the back. And there's little seats in there, except that seat is just a seat just for looks. It doesn't come down. And there's no seat. Yeah, those seats don't come down. There's just 4 seats that fold out. And to fit the modern the vintage Stormtroopers, I had to cram them in to where their legs are crossing. And one of these little doorways on the outside opens, but the rest don't open. So he can come out, and he can go back in. So that's Hasbro's version of the Imperial Troop Transport, shown in Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. And speaking of The Mandalorian, yeah, I bought some modern Hasbro Star Wars action figures. And one of the ones I bought is the Remnant Stormtrooper from Disney's Mandalorian. And because of his little gun belt thingy, he doesn't really sit down that well. Yeah, you can bend his knees, but because of that belt, he doesn't really sit down. You can move him around quite a bit. And he has a gun. And it was this Stormtrooper that I got with that Hasbro carbon freeze chamber playset, which I used to ride in that thing, the troop transport. This one, yeah, you can this one's legs bend a little bit, so this one can sit down a little bit, but not quite. He also has his gun, and he has a gun holster. I believe you could... Oh, it looks like it opens up. Yeah, the gun doesn't really fit in there, from what I can tell. If you stretched out, maybe, but it's like rubber, so I don't want to rip that. Yeah, they both have the belt, the gun belt thingy on, but the Remnant one, he doesn't have the holster for his gun. So, while I'm talking stormtroopers, I'll go back to this. Yeah, that top, I told you the top comes off, so you can see inside. Yeah, they fell down. So, and in the front, there's a weapons rack to put their guns, but it's more designed for the modern stormtroop action figures, so these vintage guns don't fit too well, so I've got a few that just fell down onto the floor of this thing. So, to really have these vintage stormtroopers sitting in here, they have to cross their legs, practically, or stick their feet beneath a seat. Just 4 fold-out seats, so you could fit the 4 of them there. And then what I did, I put this lid back on, and I opened up this little hole, and then I would have the one modern Hasbro Stormtrooper sticking out right there. So I'm gonna have that vehicle go adios. So on with more of this Episode 7 of Star Wars toy collecting. A while back I got the modern Hasbro Empire Strikes Back Bespin Escape Princess Leia figure. And I thought she didn't have any peg holes in her feet, but she has some there. I don't know if you can see them. They're really teeny tiny, but they don't... I tried to set her up in one of the TV 4 hallway playsets, and the peg holes in her feet are so tiny they don't attach onto any of those pegs in there, so I just had to have her standing up on the side. So she's one I've had, I think, since last year, and I had to separate her braids a little bit. Now, those braids were kind of folded together now. Got them pulled apart a little bit better. But this year I bought this Remnant Stormtrooper off of Amazon Prime, along with a couple more Empire Strikes Back modern Hasbro figures. Lobot comes with his own gun, and Lando Calrissian from Cloud City, he also comes with his own gun, and he has a nice little cloth cape, whereas the vintage Kenner one just had a plastic one that fit over his arms. And you see I've got, looks like Jabba's Palace display vintage Kenner, but I added, let's move the mini rig vehicle out of the way, holding Nikto. You can see there with one of the Slave Leia figures, that is a Stan Solo Stormtrooper that I got with this custom Kenner-style Slave Leia figure, and I added the slave chain from this modern 90s Hasbro Slave Leia figure. But this Bib Fortuna that I've got here is the one that Hasbro made in recent years. This is the modern one where he has actual cloth jacket and he has cloth skirt, and then everything else is pretty much plastic on him. He doesn't have a cane or like the vintage Kenner figure, and he doesn't have any guns. And that is pretty much the last of the modern Hasbro ones, so recently this year I had got some more vintage Kenner figures of the Bespin security guards. Got these two, I think these were the two I got together, the black and the Caucasian ones, and then I had gotten this one with, I believe, that vehicle I bought off the eBay seller. They just threw this figure in for nothing. And this is the this modern figure. He came with the Power of the Force 2 Hasbro Carbon Freeze Chamber playset. So he doesn't have any weapons at all. And then for the last of the vintage Kenner Star Wars figures that I bought recently, dropped. I bought a couple of the TIE Fighter pilots, but sadly don't have the money to buy a TIE Fighter yet. But I bought one of these guys that has his gun, that still has his gun, but yeah, the plastic I think has just gotten too deteriorated. He can't really hold it with his right hand. Yeah, he can just barely hold it with the left hand, but the right hand, I think the thumb has gotten so rubbery, it's really hard to get him to hold it. Yeah, it's more that I bought off the eBay, and then I bought one doesn't have any weapons. but they both still have those 3 orange dots on their chest. So it's TIE fighter pilots. And then from Stan Solo, I bought a reproduction of the Jabba skiff guard Barada. And then a reproduction of the Imperial gunner, and he comes with his own gun. And then I had pre-ordered the Slave Leia figure that came with the skiff guard weapon, and I just added on the slave collar from the mid-90s Hasbro Slave Leia figure. So, and I got this Stormtrooper that came with her. So when I pre-ordered, so many people, the ones that pre-ordered at a certain time, got one of these recreations of the classic Kenner Stormtrooper thrown in as a bonus. So, she escaped from Jabba. So after all these years, vintage Kenner Slave Leia is going home to Jabba the Hutt. So I take this figure's slave collar off. Do a switcheroo. So the modern mid-90s Hasbro Slave Leia figure. And here's Stan Solo custom version done in the style of a classic Kenner figure, and she's all flesh colored under these skirt pieces. And her braid just goes over her shoulder, I think. Yeah, I don't want to try and force it over her shoulder. And then she just comes with the Nikto, a recreation of Nikto's skiff weapon. I put her on an action figure stand, so I'll give Nikto back his weapon, and she will take her rightful place on Jabba's throne. And I added the Stan Solo Yavin Ceremony C-3PO to Jabba's throne, along with the vintage Bib Fortuna. And of course, Jabba comes with Salacious Crumb, and then I have the Pro Customs rocket firing Boba Fett custom figure, but I took out his missile so I wouldn't lose it. And I've got Lando in Skiff Guard disguise, and then that's a vintage Kenner, and then the Stan Solo recreation of what's his name? A Man. And see, Slave Leia is sitting nicely on Jabba's throne now. And then I have the one torture droid from Jabba's droid torture dungeon. Can't think of that white droid's name. And then a few more Stan Solo recreations. I've got Han Solo in carbonite. Yep. Back in 1985, Kenner was near the end of making Star Wars action figures, and they came out with Power of the Force, where they included new line of figures that mainly figures that hadn't been out before, and a few that had, where they included a coin that had the face of the figure that they came with. One of the ones that I never owned as a kid was Han Solo in carbonite. I thought that they had two of them. I thought there was one of him still in the block, and then one of him thawed out with just the block behind him, but there was just this one. So you can either have him inside the carbonite block, or have him thawed out. And here's two more Jabba Skiff Guards vintage Kenner figures. And then the last of my Stan Solo figures, custom Kenner style figure of the Jabba the Hutt dancing girl Oola, which Slave Leia took her place. So I'll put her over there. And then the other droid, EV9D9, is another Stan Solo recreation that I never had the vintage Kenner figure, and there's a little lever on the back of her mouth. Yeah, her mouth opens. It's a female droid, even though in the movie it sounded like it was a guy. So I'm assuming this other torture droid from Jabba the Hutt's droid dungeon is a male, even though you don't hear him talk at all in the movie, but you hear this one talk. It's supposed to be a female, but it sounded like a guy from what I remember in the movie. So that's all my Stan Solo figures that I've bought so far. Except for I've got one in my room and then one on the shelf. And then the C-3PO is the Yavin Ceremony C-3PO with the silver leg. So I'm mainly just re-showing some figures I've had for a while since I've got them out. And then off of eBay I bought one other Empire Strikes Back Bespin security guard. So I got this one with the vehicle of the white mustached, or the Caucasian mustached security guard. And then the one black one with, can't remember if I got it with his gun or if I just had a spare gun for him. I remember getting another one of the mustached Caucasian one with his gun, with the black security guard with his gun. They both came together from the same eBay seller, so. So before I end the Star Wars toy collecting episode 7, want to show Stan Solo Slave Leia figure once more. And you probably can't tell, but she does have a belly button. It's really tiny, so it's hard to see. I don't know if that makes her any more visible flashing the light on her. Well, it makes the gold on her and the reddish purple skirt pieces light a lot brighter, but yeah, you can't see her belly button at all. This is just a lovely custom Return of the Jedi action figure. So she's gonna sit here on the throne. And that stormtrooper can stand down now. So that's all I had to show off for Star Wars Toy Collecting Episode 7. It's almost 27 minutes long. So if you came here for the Star Wars Toy Collecting, thank you for watching, and here's one last look at the Mandalorian Imperial Troop Transport with the modern Hasbro Carbon Freeze Chamber Stormtrooper added into this. So they can pick up these two and fly off. So thank you for watching Star Wars Toy Collecting Episode 7, and now on to my DVD and Blu-ray 2022 buys so far. Since it's still 2022, currently bought a few more discs that should be coming via Amazon Prime tomorrow, but all the discs that I bought so far are back here on the table. So I'm gonna move some of these guys off of the table. So one of my most recent DVD buys is an out-of-print DVD set that I bought off of eBay, and I was able to buy it brand new, which is cool, since it was one of those ones that was licensed out to VCI Entertainment, and it went out of print. It's a classic Nickelodeon anime series, The Mysterious Cities of Gold, from Fabulous Films and Virgil Films. It's all 39 episodes, and they're all completely uncut. Yeah, Nickelodeon, when they originally aired this, from 1986, on the day of my birthday, June 30th, up till my birthday on 1990 was when they last aired it on Nickelodeon. They had cut all 39 episodes up in order to make room for more commercials, so the episodes originally ended with a live-action mini-documentary that was slightly more historical accurate than the cartoon, which is more of a mix of sci-fi fantasy with history, but fictional version of history of the Spaniards coming to South America and Mexico in search of gold. So this DVD set has quite a bit of extras. All 39 episodes with fully restored picture and sound, all 39 live-action documentaries which Nickelodeon cut out, and then deleted scenes. So I don't know if the deleted scenes are just those documentaries, or if it's actual cut footage that they cut out. And then English dubbing documentary with the main cast, and the dubbing cast recreate a scene featurette production documentary with director Bernard Dayries, and the producer Jean Chalopin, and composer Suki Levy, and karaoke theme tune sing-along, crew biographies, dubbing cast biographies, character biographies, series synopsis, episode synopsis, original storyboards, feature on machines and props, and a 32-page collector's booklet, and it's 6 DVDs, running times approximately 1,120 minutes, region 1 locked, stereo, audio, and then color NTSC, so for North American DVD and Blu-ray players, and no subtitles, but it's the English dub. There's a French / Japanese anime, but when it got imported to the States, Nickelodeon had some connections with some voice actors in Canada, so they dubbed it with the Canadian voice cast. So Mysterious Cities of Gold, the out-of-print Virgil Films, Fabulous Films DVD that used to be out from VCI Entertainment. And then some that I bought directly from Scream Factory. Two are Roger Corman films, one being Watchers 2, and I believe the first movie, there's rights issues with the original Watchers movie because the original Watchers is a Canadian production, so I think that one's a little bit harder for Shout Factory to put out, so they did limited edition of this one that they know they've got the rights 2, since this one was pretty much a full Roger Corman production, and they own all the Roger Corman New Horizons Pictures titles now. And yeah, I believe they still have copies of this left on their website, but it's very limited edition, and doesn't list any extras. But it looks like you get to see the movie in both 1.85 widescreen and 1.33 full frame. But it runs 98 minutes, so I don't know if they give you just the option of watching it in either widescreen or full screen format, or if they put maybe it's something else on here that they didn't list. Watchers 2, and another Roger Corman film that they put out on Blu-ray is a much older Roger Corman production from the 70s, Cockfighter, starring Warren Oates. This is a bit of a hillbilly drama, where we have these Southern hicks involved in having the roosters fight. And it doesn't list any extras, but I'm pretty sure that at least the trailer on here is included. And it's just a Shout Factory release, unlike this one, which is a straight sci-fi horror fantasy, so that's under the Scream Factory banner. This one's just under the Shout Factory banner. And then another limited edition is an upgrade from a DVD edition they had out for a while. It's a made-for-TV movie that was shown on CBS television back in the late 70s. A TV pilot of the Marvel comic superhero Doctor Strange, starring Peter Hooton and Jessica Walter. And once this aired, the series never got picked up. And this Blu-ray has a few extras. You get to see the movie in high-definition transfer and restoration from the original film elements, and a new audio commentary by pop culture historian Russell Dyball and the panel jumper host Cole Hornaday. And since this is just a TV movie, it's in 1.33 full frame, and it's 93 minutes. And it's one that they got from Universal Pictures. Well, NBC Universal, since NBC owns Universal Pictures now. And then two more limited edition Shout Factory titles, two that are part of the Scream Factory line. One's an alien abduction movie that they sold out of already. Communion, starring, what's his name? Christopher Walken. This is a movie that came out in 89, I believe, or maybe it was made in 89 and came out in 1990. This Blu-ray's got a bunch of extras. You get audio commentary with director Philip Mora and William J. Burns. Publisher of UFO magazine, so maybe William J. Burns is the publisher of UFO magazine. And then audio commentary with Philip Mora, and then outtakes, behind-the-scenes footage, and theatrical trailers. lists this as being the precursor to TV's X-Files, since X-Files pretty much started with Mulder and Scully chasing after UFOs, and I believe in the pilot episode they found a woman who had been supposedly abducted by aliens, and it is from 1989. It's rated R and 109 minutes, and it's in a 2.35 widescreen. And one more Scream Factory, another limited edition, but I believe they still have some copies left on their website. Meat Cleaver Massacre, 70s drive-in flick starring Christopher Lee. And it's from 1977, and there's two different cuts of the movie. Well, it only listed as running 85 minutes, but I'm pretty sure there's a 77-minute cut on here as well. The website listed 77-minute cut, that was the original cut, and then an 85-minute cut. And I think the longer cut is the cut that features Christopher Lee, because he originally filmed a bunch of footage that wasn't for something else that didn't get finished being made, so the longer cut, I think, just has wraparound footage of Christopher Lee. This is rated R, and it's a 1.85 widescreen, part of the Scream Factory line. It's funny, they only list one cut being on this Blu-ray, and while they list on the website this having two different cuts. But I guess they just couldn't print everything on the back. They just ran out of space to print everything. So I think I'm probably going to save some of these discs to show off in my next update video, because it's getting close to midnight now, and I got more discs coming in via Amazon Prime tomorrow, so save some stuff for tomorrow. And a while back, my mom gave me a gift card, Best Buy gift card for Christmas, and I looked through Best Buy, I couldn't find anything I liked, and then I found a movie I'd never owned on DVD or Blu-ray that it's out on 4K Ultra HD, but I don't have any 4K stuff, so I just bought the regular Blu-ray. Singing in the Rain, starring Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, and Debbie Reynolds, who was Carrie Fisher's mom. And it's got commentary by Debbie Reynolds, Donald O'Connor, Sid Charisse, Kathleen Freeman, and Stanley Donen, Betty Comden, Adolph Green, Baz Luhrmann, and Rudy Bell Ulmer. That sounds like a lot of people to be doing audio commentary, so maybe some of them are on-camera interviews. And then all new Singing in the Rain on a New Generation documentary, then Jukebox Jump to Song feature in the theatrical trailer, and this is in a 16, well, it says 16:9, which makes no sense because it says 1.37, and that's full screen, so this was out before there were widescreen in 1952, and it's rated G. And this is all about the silent film actors of Hollywood having to transition from silent films to the talkie films, and it's really funny since Gene Kelly he's the one silent film star that actually has a good enough voice to transition into talkies. And back in the days of silent films, when it went from when movies went from being silent to being in sound, there were some actors that just didn't have a very attractive speaking voice to be heard on film, so some silent film stars were out of work when their speaking voice didn't sound that great being heard on film. And in this, there is a female character, comic actress Jean Hagen plays the silent film female star that doesn't have an attractive speaking voice and can't sing, so Debbie Reynolds has to end up dubbing her. Oops, spoiler, but if you haven't seen this by now, where the heck have you been? Then I'm going to go through some of my more recent DVD buys, as well as Blu-ray buys, some more I got from Amazon Prime. And one's was originally going to be a Code Red Kino Lorber co-release, but now it's Scorpion and Kino Lorber, and it's one cult movie licensed from Universal Pictures. It's 1978, 88-minute PG-rated teen comedy, Almost Summer. And this Blu-ray has a brand new 2K master, interviews with director Martin Davidson, stars Lee Purcell and Tim Matheson, and costume designer Sandra Davidson, and then the theatrical trailer. And since it's Blu-ray, it's 1080p, high definition, and it's widescreen 1.85. And I believe that the artwork on this is reversible. I haven't opened this, so and I just cut my fingernails down because they were getting too long, so I don't have much of anything I can... I'll save it for another time. And then another one is a Code Red Kino Lorber release from MGM. It's 70s drive-in exploitation film, Dirty O'Neill, The Love Life of a Cop. So this is, I believe it's part sex comedy and part crime drama and part thriller. This one is very R-rated. It's from 1974, 90 minutes. And let's see. Yeah, high definition. It's only available on Blu-ray. There's no DVD. And it's 1.85 widescreen, special features, brand new 2K master, and you get the trailer. Stars Morgan Paul from the movie Blade Runner, and from the movies The Last Hardman, as well as Fool's Parade and The Swarm. And it's co-directed by Leon Capitano's Secret Life of a Schoolgirl Wife, and Louis Teague, who directed Alligator, as well as Roger Corman's The Lady in Red and Cujo. Yeah, 70s exploitation, raunchy cop comedy is what's mentioned on the back of the case. Co-starring Art Metrano, the Police Academy movies, and Breathless, and then Pat Anderson, TNT Jackson, Jeannie Manson from The Young Nurses, another Roger Corman movie, and then Katie Saylor from the drive-in flick Supervan and TV's The Fantastic Journey, but she was also in the drive-in flick Invasion of the Bee-Girls. So, Dirty O'Neill, The Love Life of a Cop from Kino Lorber, and Code Red from MGM. But I think Scorpion took it over, but still lists Code Red on there. And then one that I bought on both DVD and Blu-ray, since I never owned the DVD and I still like to collect DVDs. It's a film that was put out on DVD by Anchor Bay Entertainment years back, but then it went out of print and it never had a Blu-ray, and the only way of seeing it was to import a European DVD. Well, now Kino's licensed it for both DVD and Blu-ray release. And it's got some special features: audio commentary by director Alan Moyle and star Robin Johnson, and then audio commentary by film historian Kat Ellinger, and then you get the theatrical trailer, and it's from 1980, R-rated, 111 minutes, anamorphic widescreen 1.85, and region 1 locked. And it's licensed to Kino Lorber from Studio Canal. And it features Tim Curry from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And soundtrack has music from of hits from Patti Smith, The Cure, Lou Reed, The Ramones, The Pretenders, Roxy Music, Robin Gibb, Gary Newman, Suzi Quatro, and Talking Heads, Joe Jackson, XTC, and more. So, Times Square, the DVD from Kino Lorber, stars Tim Curry, Trini Alvarado, and Robin Johnson. And then I bought the Kino Scorpion DVD edition of Almost Summer, which seems to have all the same extras and 1.85 widescreen. And I think maybe the DVD might also have reversible artwork. I'm not sure, but I'll just save that for the next one. And then I bought the Blu-ray of Times Square, which has all the same extras as the DVD, but it also has the slipcover, and it has reversible artwork underneath. And then at the start of the year, I bought a couple cartoon DVDs from Walmart. I bought the Tom and Jerry Spotlight Collection, volumes 1 through 3. So I'm assuming it's 3 different DVDs. Well, it says terrific teamwork from one of animation's delightful duos in this complete collection of 112 episodes on 4 discs. And the 3rd volume contains 35 classic cartoons, 15 remastered in their original CinemaScope widescreen format. So that's exciting. Some crud going on there. $809. So I don't know what makes this 4 discs unless maybe a 4th disc on here is just extras. That's one of the cartoon DVDs I bought Walmart back in January, the start of the year. And then also at Walmart, I bought the Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny Golden Carrot Collection, 74 episodes on 5 discs. And this has a bunch of extras on here. So it's color in black and white, 740 minutes. It looks like it has a bunch of documentaries on here, as well as part 1 of a 1986 TV special, and then 1989 documentary profile, and part 1 of a 1975 documentary and behind-the-scenes featurette from the Bugs Bunny show vaults and more, part 1 of 2000 documentary from the Bugs Bunny vaults and more. So this has a lot of, yeah, it's really a lot of stuff on here because it's 5 DVDs. So aside from 74 cartoons on here, it's a bunch of DVD extras. So we're almost getting to an hour. One movie I never had the Blu-ray of, but since I do still collect DVDs, I just settled for the DVD since it should upscale decently. 16:9, Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, from Warner Brothers. 101 minutes and rated PG-13. Yeah, it's 16:9 matted widescreen and is English and French audio and subtitles in English, French, and Spanish. And doesn't list any real extras unless maybe a trailer's on there. But this stars Peter Cushing, who would later play Governor Tarkin in the original Star Wars, and then Veronica Carlson, who was in Dracula is Risen from the Grave, as well as Horror of Frankenstein. And then Freddie Jones, Simon Ward, Thorley Walters, and Maxine Audley. So the Hammer horror film Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed on DVD from Warner Brothers. And then, even though I have the Blu-ray, I still collect DVDs. I got the Severin DVD of Raiders of Atlantis, and the DVD only has the trailer. But I did buy the Blu-ray, which has much more than just a trailer. And this is from 1983, 92 minutes, and this would probably be an R-rated film but it was never released in theaters here. It went straight to home video. But you get both English and Italian audio. It just says closed captioned, 92 minutes. So Raiders of Atlantis, Severin. And then I bought a few DVD-Rs from the Video Beat. One being Fury on Wheels, which so far has had a VHS release and is streaming, which looks like VHS tape release. And I checked this disc, and it looks like it's just copied from the VHS. And then I got the Sweet Ride. Just something like a beach party movie, but it's a little bit more serious since it's got violence in it. Stars Jacqueline Bisset. And it also stars Bob Denver from TV's Gilligan's Island. And then Anthony Franciosa and Michael Saracen are also in this, along with Michelle Carey. So the Sweet Ride, and then one that's also been stuck in VHS hell, but so this isn't much better than the VHS tape release, Wild Wheels. But it's watchable. Quality is not that great, but these are rare movies. I mean, 20th Century Fox did put a manufactured on-demand DVD out, but the quality is not much better than this, so some of these movies are never gonna get DVD or Blu-ray releases, and if they do, it's not gonna be anything that great, unfortunately. And then from Amazon Prime, I bought the Warner Archive collection of Angels with Dirty Faces, starring James Cagney, Pat O'Brien, Humphrey Bogart, and the Dead End Kids, who later became the East Side Kids, so this has some extras. It's got Leonard Maltin hosts Warner Night at the Movies, 1938 with Newsreel, and the music short Out Where the Stars Began. begin, and then cartoon Porky and Daffy and theatrical trailers, featurette Angels with Dirty Faces, what do ya hear, what do ya say, and then commentary by film historian Dana Poland, and audio-only bonus radio production with film's 2 stars. And it's black and white, 97 minutes, and it's before film rating, so it's not rated. But it does get a little bit violent, because I think you do see one of the gangsters slapping dead-end kid Leo Gorcey around a bit. So, Angels with Dirty Faces from Warner Archive. And then Film Detective Special Editions, a 50s drive-in creature feature, Monster from Green Hell, restored in 4K, in a new 4K transfer, but downgraded to 1080p, 2K HD. 1957, 71 minutes black and white, not rated. And you get the option of watching it in the widescreen format of 1.85 or the full frame 1.33 version. So either widescreen or full screen. Special features, Missouri Born, the films of Jim Davis, an all-new career retrospective with author, film historian C.E. Courtney Joyner, and the men behind the monsters, an essay by author Don Stradley featured in a full-color booklet, and then commentary with artist-author Stephen R. Bissett, and it features a rare colorized climax. So the DVD of this was completely in black and white, but it originally ended with in color and with the black and white then tinted to color. Oh, and this is region-free Blu-ray. So, Monster from Green Hill. And then, Shout Factory Scream Factory release. It's 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray Collector's Edition combo of the Sword and Sorcery fantasy film, The Sword and the Sorcerer. And the Ultra HD 4K disc includes new 2021 4K scan from the original negative, and new audio commentary with director Albert Pune, while disc 2 is the Blu-ray and includes the new 2021 4K scan from the original negative, as well as the new audio commentary with Albert Pune and the new interviews with actress Kathleen Beller, co-writer, co-producer John Struckmeyer, editor Marshall Harvey, special makeup effects artist Alan Apone, and more, and then trailers from hell, Marshall Harvey on Sword and the Sorcerer, so the trailers from hell's Marshall Harvey talking about the Sword and the Sorcerer, and then theatrical trailers and TV spot. So the Ultra HD disc is in 2160p Ultra High Definition HDR widescreen of 1.85, while the Blu-ray's 1080p High Definition widescreen of 1.85, 1982 approximate feature running time plus minus 99 minutes. English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. Yeah, it's rated R. And the Blu-ray's region A locked, but I think Ultra HD discs aren't region locked for some reason. So Scream Factory's Sword and the Sorcerer Collector's Edition Ultra HD plus Blu-ray combo pack release. Then one more Scream Factory Blu-ray. I can't remember if I bought this directly from Shout Factory or if I bought it off of Amazon. This is one that's going out of print. Alien Predators, which is also called The Falling. It stars Dennis Christopher, Martin Hewitt, and Lynn Holly Johnson, who was in Ice Castles as well as For Your Eyes Only. The special features audio commentary with director Darren Serafian and the theatrical trailer rated R, region A locked. It's from MGM, 1080p high definition widescreen of 1.85. And it stars, Dennis Christopher from Breaking Away and Fade to Black is in this, as well as Martin Hewitt from Endless Love and Two Moon Junction. So this movie's about 3 American teens and I believe 1 adult. They're on vacation in Europe in a Spanish town where the townspeople get possessed by aliens, so then these American teens have to find a way to get out of the town to escape these evil aliens. It's from 1987, 90 minutes. So I think that's all I'm gonna do for this time, since I have more discs coming, and I have a stack here. Some of these I do want to open up, see what got included as far as maybe reversible artwork. So this will end part 1, my 2022 DVD Blu-ray haul. So thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for part 2 coming soon, since I have more discs coming from Amazon Prime tomorrow, as well as the stack of discs. So thanks for watching.